find t given that the line joining D at -1, -3 to C at 1t is perpendicular to a line with gradient 2. Right, so we have been 2 points, and this is about gradient. So we're going to use the formula again, which is gradient between 2 points, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're definitely going to use that. You've been told it's perpendicular to a line with gradient 2. So perpendicular, that word should enable you to work out the gradient. Right, so if it's perpendicular, it means the gradient of this line is the negative reciprocal of the other gradient. So basically, we take the gradient 2, we need to find the negative reciprocal of that. So negative reciprocal means reciprocal and times by -1, or change the sign. So if we take 2, well, 2 is 2 over 1. So the reciprocal of 2 over 1 is 1 over 2. So that's going to go to 1 over 2. That's the reciprocal of 2. So the negative reciprocal of 2 is -1 over 2. So that's the gradient of our line that joins DC. So now we have these points -1, -3, and 1t. And now we're going to say x1, y1, x2, y2. x1, y1, x2, y2. So now we know we can just put everything into the equation. We know it needs to equal -1/2. So let's see where we can get to. -1/2 equals, so m -1/2, the gradient it needs to be perpendicular to a line with gradient 2, equals y2 minus y1, t minus -3. Massive source of mistakes, this minus bit, so don't let yourself be the one that makes the mistake. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, so that's 1 minus -1. Right, so that's a bit complicated, but we can certainly tidy it up a lot in the first instance. Just say -1/2 equals t plus 3 over, so 1 minus -1 is 2. And actually now it's going to look a lot nicer very soon. So if we now multiply both sides by 2, we want to get rid of this 2. If we're going to do 2 times -1/2, well, if you think 2 times 1/2 is 1, and then so -1/2 times 2 must be -1. So that would say -1 equals t plus 3. To get the t on its own, I need to subtract the 3 from both sides. So -1 minus 3 equals t, -4 equals t, t equals -4. And we're finished. So just a quick recap. The main thing, get your equation right, be careful with negatives. And if you're talking about gradients of perpendicular lines, they are negative reciprocals of each other. Find the reciprocal, change the sign. If it's in a form that it's difficult to find the reciprocal of, put it in a form so it's not. So this was a whole number, so we expressed it as a fraction. Say you got a mixed number, I don't know, 4 2/3, and you wanted, and that was a gradient. Well, you might have to turn that into an improper first, where you might say, well, that equals 4 3s are 12, 14 over 3. So then the negative reciprocal will be -3 over 14. If you can get it in this form, as in A over B form, then the negative reciprocal is easy. Negative reciprocal for perpendicular lines equal gradients for parallel lines.